Ariana Grande still talking about some of her receipts is looking like phone numbers. At this point, when your receipt look like a phone number, what she's saying is that she just spending.
Spend a check and get it right back. Which is...
My receipts don't look like phone numbers.
No. I really don't want my receipts to look like phone numbers.
My receipts barely look like area codes.
Wait a minute.
Hey, Kay.
Khiry, what's happening?
What's going on?
You have a good week?
You know, I had a wonderful week. It's been pretty trying. You know, a really busy week. You know, we still got grown people things to do.
Every day.
Making money moves and things. But it's been pretty good. What about yours?
It was a good week. Stressful, but a good week. More so trying to get this weight thing together. So I had to visit the gym a couple times.
So I'm trying to get my weight.
I'm trying. Go ahead. I ain't say I'm trying to do that.
No, I am. I want to be in the sunken place, right here in the midsection.
In the midsection.
Right here in the midsection.
I gotta work on my midsection and my hip section. And my thigh section.
Legs and hips and body. Body. Okay. Hello and goodbye. I'm trying to get my mission together. I called my girl J-Lo. So I'm going to see what her routine is too. You know, she got a real nice body.
Okay.
I just want to be in my sunken place right here.
In your sunken place?
Right here in my center. In the thoracic area.
I'm sick of you.
In the torso area.
I'm sick of you.
So, but one thing...
You had late night snacks?
Yeah.
It might.
It
might affect.
I feel like here's the problem. You ain't even have to do that on camera.
The late night snack get you friend.
The problem is you want to throw out my late night snack. Them people didn't know that.
But you know what, friend? I ain't gonna tell you no story. If I done been out in the late night evening, and I don't know what it is, when I get home, my mouth be hungry.
It's just the mouth. It's just the mouth. Because don't nothing else be hungry. I don't know why my mouth be wanting to have something. That don't make no sense.
My mouth be hungry.
I'm going to tell you what the struggle is.
The struggle is real.
I have a weakness for chips. It's something about a good chip.
A good Lay's and Ruff and Pringle.
Late in the midnight hour. And you can't have just one. I be thinking I'm going to have just one. I'm going to tell you what the devil is also. Do not eat and watch TV.
Now, you right about it.
That's the devil. If you eat and watch TV, you're going to keep eating because you feel like you need to be doing something along the whole show or the whole movie. The longer the movie...
Because it keeps you engaged.
The longer you... It's something about the engagement.
It keeps you engaged.
You understand?
Yeah, you got to be like...
It's the motor skills. Yeah. It's like I feel like as I'm watching, I got to be moving. So I'm moving the food in my mouth.
Because your mouth be hungry.
Because my mouth be hungry. My stomach will be full and probably tell me that you don't even need to be eating no more, friend.
But your mouth
and my mouth will keep eating. That's the problem. You know what? We run our mouth too much. I think that's the science behind that.
It is.
You got to stop running your mouth, friend.
That's it.
That is
be quiet.
Damn. You know, it seems like it's always a testimony. It brings you right on back to how your relationship problems just come on through. Your weight problems come on through. You know, everything is contributed to watching your mouth. Watch what you say and watch what your mouth do.
Yeah, because you know we're going to talk about it.
On the shirt, because we're going
to talk about it.
One thing we going to do is talk about it. Y'all, welcome back to another episode of Rainbow Tea.
I'm AK.
And I'm Khiry. And today we're going to do what?
We're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it. What we talking about today, AK?
Gotta have a conversation. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about finances. We're going to talk about commingling money. Commingling of money.
I feel like it's real heavy.
Yes, that can be.
That can be a little heavy depending. Because, a lot of people, a lot of people actually base their relationship off of money.
Very true.
This can be a very true statement. Money can make you and it can break you as well. Because obviously, nobody wants to not have money. But I believe that when they say money can be the root of all evil, I think it absolutely can be. In more ways than one.
It's a contributing factor.
It's a contributing factor because my thing is, But we're just gonna go ahead and say it. We're gonna face it. Don't nobody want nobody broke. We don't want that. We don't want that. But you also want to make sure that you humble enough to realize that, people fall on hard times.
Very true.
And sometimes obviously you may not be in the same tax bracket. Mm-hmm. You may not be making the same amount of money or bringing home the same amount of money. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, and then that could be based off of either gender, because some people feel like, well, the man is supposed to make more money than the woman. Mm-hmm. So if the woman makes more money, it's a problem. Mm-hmm. You want to see who the breadwinner is, but then you also got to look at it how we look at it in the LGBT community. Sometimes there is no man in a relationship. Mm-hmm. So when you're going through this whole situation, I think we got to talk about everything as a whole.
Everything.
So I guess the first thing is, my question to you would be, do you feel as though you can date somebody that does not make enough money or as much money as you?
Yeah. Yeah, I have, in the past, been with people that, didn't make as much money as I did, and vice versa. But I think it's all about your management skills, how you manage your money. Because you necessarily don't have to make this extravagant amount of money. Mm-hmm. But if you make enough money, but the money that you make, you're able to maintain, take care of yourself, maintain a particular lifestyle, then that works for you. That works for you. I think when you decide to be in a committed relationship and you decide to move in together and all those things like that, then you definitely have to have a conversation about money. You definitely have to have that conversation. I need to know what kind of bills you got, and I need to share with you what I got, because of I can take care of me.
And you know what? Because see, you said a mouthful. I started watering when you said that. And the reason why I say that is because there's contributing positively, and then there is contributing negatively. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is sometimes you can come with money, and you don't come with an excessive amount of debt. Mm-hmm. So that money then contributes positively to the house. Mm-hmm. But if you come with just enough money for your stuff, and some people actually come with a little less than what they actually what they need. You kind of live above your means. And when you live above your means and you come into another situation like that, what that pretty much means is that, well, you have already had this set up and you're already pretty much on struggle. Mm-hmm. Now you're looking at me for more so financial assistance, which you don't mind when you're in a relationship, but you also don't want anybody to bring you more debt than what you came with. You know what I mean? You should at least be, and I think that you said a mouthful when you said, at least be able to take care of yourself. Because I will definitely help my partner and take care of my partner of that nature, but you don't want it to be out of obligation. Right. That should be something that you are doing because that's what you care to do. That's your love language. You want to be able to take care of your partner, things of that nature. I think that's cool, but that should be an option. Absolutely. You should still be able to take care and sustain yourself and what you have brought when it comes down to the relationship. So that would be my thing. On my side, I would say I absolutely can and I absolutely have dated a person that did not make as much money as me. And sometimes I've dated people who actually do make more money, but by the time you get done with all your bills and things that you have to get done, you kind of don't because you don't have anything left over when you're done. Right. So it's not that you don't make the money, but you have to make the money and then be able to manage it as well. And that's a difference. So for me, absolutely, I would date you if if you don't make as much money as me, or if you make more money than me. I just feel like when you contribute, try to contribute positively to the relationship. So, because you never know what can happen. Right. And I think that is where a lot of adults, obviously, that's an important part of adulthood just in general, is making sure that you not only have enough money to sustain yourself right now, but say you get laid off or something happens where you have to be hospitalized or you lose at least you have cushions. So you have to also be able to realize that you need to be able to manage with a savings into that nature because you never know what happens when it comes down to the household. We have to be in this together. Absolutely. You know what I mean? That shouldn't be a one-sided situation. So
that's a conversation that we don't like to have because people feel, I don't know what it is. I think sometimes people maybe just how things are set up, but I think a lot of times how, based on what you make, based on what you bring in, based on your income and whatnot, people feel as though some people are shameful, some people are boastful about it or whatever. But again, it still comes down to how you manage your money.
Absolutely.
But I think it can make or break a relationship as well, especially if you're trying to live together or you're taking the next step to say marriage or anything like that. Now, I would say, and I've been married before, and it was, at one time we shared an account. I literally, all I did was work. So money just went to the account. And I had a little savings. So, some money go to the savings, money go to the account. I didn't spend any money. I really did. Other than if it was for the household or we were taking a trip or something like that, didn't spend any money. And this one particular time, I was like, you know what? I think I want to buy a new TV or whatever. Just want to buy a new TV. I know I had the money to do it. I'm going to buy me a new TV.
You've been working.
Right. Signing to the account. And I'm noticing all these little transactions of different things. So I didn't say anything. I go home. Just normal afternoon. They were sitting down eating. I said, so yeah, show me what you got from New York and Company. Fork dropped. Ding. What you mean? I was like, show me what you got from New York and Company. How you know what New York and Company? Because I looked at the account.
We could see the statement.
I looked at the account.
Right.
Which I did not do.
You wasn't going to.
I never did. I allowed them to. I provided the money there. They took care of the household bills. And certain things I didn't have to worry about. That was just kind of like an agreement. Then certain things were just unspoken. And just that moment taught me I'm contributing, and contributing.
Contributing and contributing.
And what I'm contributing, you're doing what you want. I am communicating what I want to do, but you are not. So when it got to that, we had to have a conversation.
I was going to say, did you feel like that was
we had to have a conversation because, okay, it was understood that, we contributing, money goes in, households taken care of, money's there to do X, Y, and Z. But if it was like a bigger purchase, we were to communicate. Now, mind you, it wasn't, a lot of money spent at the retail store, but when it was just the point of when I looked at all the other transactions, and you're not even talking to me about it.
About them, yeah.
So at this point, this is what we're going to do. So we're going to contribute. We're going to have an account for household. You have your account. You do what you choose to do. I have my account. I do what I choose to do.
And that's what I was going to say. Because, I've been married before as well. And I think that was the same thing then. Again, talking about how you contribute and what your debt and everything is. You have to be able to look at things to say, okay, let's just say every week we're putting in, I don't know, depending on what you're making. Right. I'm just going to throw out a ballpark number and say every week you're putting in $1,000 a piece. Right. Okay? So that is $2,000 a week that's going in, if you look at it that way. However, if you got to pay child support and student loans and your car payment and things of that nature, and your stuff equals out to $1,500, but you only put in $1,000, and that pretty much means that $500 from what I already put in, I've probably been thinking about, that is already gone. Okay? So you're starting off pretty much in a negative department. I have to pretty much try to pick up some more stuff. Now, which is fine, because like I said, your partnership, you're putting in together, a lot of the bills, they pretty much going to fall on both of y'all anyway. Right. What's coming inside of the house, essentially, is supposed to be in for the house. Right. But there's a difference when you are putting in this amount and you're paying everything off, but then on top of that, you want to go and get extracurricular things, do extracurricular activities, things of that nature, because now what that pretty much is saying is that we put in together, but the benefit pretty much is basically on you. Everything is falling on towards you, and essentially it's all coming out. So when you want to go make a big ticket purchase,
then I got to hold up and I got to have a conversation.
You got to wait and have a conversation because of what's going on inside. So I think that it falls very hugely on communication, and we talk about communication a lot on this show.
You gotta have a conversation.
Because you gotta have a conversation.
You know, you gotta
it's
have
very important to talk about stuff, but it's also important to be respectful and be mindful of things as well.
Absolutely.
Because my thought is that when you do go together and you put in together, it's important to have those conversations at that point.
Absolutely.
Because now when we go to make big ticket items and things of that nature, we are not just coming out just from our own. We are coming out collectively. So, and it's okay if it doesn't even benefit us both, but it's something on the lines of, okay, well, you know what? I want to go ahead and make this purchase. Want to make sure it's okay. Do you have anything else that you want to do? Is there anything that's pretty much set for the household before you turn around and just going to go ahead and splurge $500 on clothes at your company?
Right.
Because it's an easy thing to do. You can do it. And my thing is, if you work hard for it, you should be able to do that.
Absolutely.
But I think that it's also important, like you said, to have things set aside to where we're not going to touch this for anything outside of the household stuff, okay? Because you can have a household account, and then you can also, in that same token, you can have the household checking, but a miscellaneous savings for the household, and that's something different. But I've learned personally, I think that it is probably beneficial for everybody to have something set on their own money.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like as an adult, nobody wants to go through and have to talk to you about everything.
Every single thing.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to talk to nobody about everything that you want to buy.
Absolutely.
So I feel like that should be when you put your money in your pot on your side. Because at this point, I didn't pull anything out of our household situation. But I think that we should definitely both contribute at least 50% of our checks to the household account.
Right.
And the other 50%, you take that and put that in your, your side for whatever you want to do. And at this point, you ain't got to tell me that you're going to buy cigarettes. And you're going to buy you a new dress or some Gucci shoes or whatever you want to go buy, because that's your stuff on your side for you to be able to do.
Right.
The household stuff we need to talk about together.
Right.
And that's important. And it's also important, like you just now said, sometimes, a lot of times, it's one person that's actually doing all of the maintenance for the house. You know what I mean? Like, we all know that obviously rent got to come out. We know that the utilities got to come out, things of that nature. But a lot of the times, it's like, what, instead of me telling you to go ahead and keep up with these two bills and I keep up with these two bills, one person have everything set up to come out of the account around the same time and keep them moving.
I'm going to tell you how I don't spend money to Khiry. That's how bad it is. And I work a lot. Mm-hmm. But I don't spend money. I really don't. It's unnecessary at times. But anywho, how much I don't spend money. This one particular day, as I was mentioning earlier, I decided to go make some purchases. I went and bought new linen for the bedroom. Went and bought a TV. Got a stand for the TV. By the time I got to Best Buy, they had turned my card off and the bank was calling.
Because you've been...
And it was like, yeah, can you verify these? Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't that I didn't have the money. It was just that's how much I did not spend money. Did not spend money. So it's I don't just throw up money like that. Even if I go to the little clubs.
Right.
In case sometimes I want to contribute to some tuition or some child care.
A little bit, right.
Sometimes it's a group of us that might want to contribute to somebody else's car note or whatever. But
right.
But even going, I already have fixated in my mind. I'm only gonna contribute so much.
And this is true.
That's all my offering gonna be.
And I think
that's all my offering gonna be.
And that's important because a lot of the times some people say they can't spot them. I feel like you can spot when somebody is really looking to benefit and come up off of you.
Absolutely.
And I think that is something that you need to make sure that you are aware of. And I think that when you start off trying to buy a person, trying to buy their likes, trying to buy their attention, of that nature, then that is something that they expect for you to upkeep.
Absolutely.
But once it becomes an expectation, for me, it's done. It should not be an obligation. This is something that I am absolutely, this is an optional situation. And I actually like that. I'm one of the people that I like to, you said you don't like to spend, I actually like to spend money.
It's not that I don't like to spend money. I just, things that I don't really do stuff to where I have to spend money.
Which makes sense.
A lot of times when it comes to certain activities or like I spend, travel or anything like that, or if it's business-wise, something I want to invest in myself, then I don't have no problem spending money.
Spending the money out.
But just being real frivolous, I'm really not. Every now and again, Because I get upset with myself sometimes, even being social and I be like, that cost this much?
And really? Yeah, I was about to say, that's why I be drawing the line at is I like to spend money on things that I feel like is beneficial.
Right.
I mean,
it's
don't
okay
like to
to
go
have
out
a good time in those moments, but to do it every week, every day, that's gonna be a negative for me.
I like to be able to see where money is going. I think that is different for me. So when I go out on weekends, I get a little upset because if I go out on weekends and I actually budget out for it, because I feel like even when you don't, it still winds up being that. But I feel like if you go out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? Just for you alone, like you and maybe one person. If y'all going out like that means you're gonna go out to whatever club or lounge you're gonna go to. You're gonna go to out to eat because that's what you're gonna do anyway. Automatically, you're gonna spend at least $100 a day. At least. And that's why I said at least. I want to make sure I want to make sure we put it out there. At a minimum, you are gonna spend at least $100 a day. If you get to one of them days where you are already out, and y'all having a good time, y'all already started taking y'all shots and things of that nature.
You done dropped $300-$400.
You done threw up at least $100. So do the math on that. If you spent $300 a day, 3 days a week, that is $900 a week that goes to just miscellaneous stuff. You never see the money again. That's just going straight to parking, eating, partying. Now, my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
When I think about that, as I think,
you get teared up.
When I think about it, babe, all I can do is shake my head. All I can do is shake my head at it. Because my thoughts is that people sit around and talk about how they wish they could save this money, or they got to go ahead and buy this, or they got to do this. And you think about it, you probably spend $1,000 a week on absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
On absolutely nothing.
Just being social.
Baby girl, them new tires you said you needed and you've been trying to work on new tires, baby, you done already did that.
Yeah, you smoked them on that hookah.
You done already spent that. That new toilet you need because it's still running in the back. Oh yeah, you had spent that toilet. You spent that. When them car payments come up, when you done messed around and said, oh shit, I gotta wait the next week for this car payment. Or I can't quite get this oil change or whatever situation is, baby, you done spent that. You spent it multiple times when you think about it. So people sit around, they look and they be like, I make how much money a year? I make $70,000, $80,000 a year. Why don't I see it? You don't see it because you spend it. You just throw it away as soon as you see that there's money in your account. But when you think about it, if you start a good old savings account and you took half of the money that you spend just throwing around, my thoughts is that we will all be in a better place.
Absolutely.
You should have at least $10,000 just sitting in your savings account.
You know what's sad, Khiry? We don't save. A lot of people don't save money. A lot of people don't have a 401k. A lot of people don't invest. There's a lot of opportunities to have their surplus, and we miss those opportunities because we want it now.
We want it right now.
We want it now. We worried about what other people are going to say, what other people are going to look. I got to have those shoes right now. I need to have
up with the Joneses.
Exactly.
But the Joneses already got their stuff.
They already got it. They already got this. And they ain't looking at you.
Not
paying you no attention.
Ain't thinking about you.
Ain't paying you no attention.
Don't know you exist while you following them. They're not following you. And that's what be killing me. How everybody want to sit around here and act like a Kardashian. Baby, them Kardashians don't know us. They are sitting up so high, they little piece of horse, baby. The one little girl, I forget her name. What's her name? The one that got the makeup line. She was a self-made with a billionaire. This lady just sitting there chilling. What's her name? Kendall Kylie? One of them. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Yeah. That lady is sitting up real high, and she can spend money in her sleep. Ariana Grande still talking about some of her receipts is looking like phone numbers. At this point, when your receipt look like a phone number, what she's saying is that she just spending.
Spend a check and get it right back. Which is...
My receipts don't look like phone numbers.
No. I really don't want my receipts to look like phone numbers.
My receipts barely look like area code.
Wait a minute.
No, what I want y'all to understand. Okay? My mystique, if it's gonna do anything, it will be 3 digits long. The only time that it hit them foes, the only time it hitting them thousands when I go ahead and talk about a big ticket item. When y'all see me out here at the Apple store, I done probably hit that fourth. I done probably hit that fourth number. If you see me at the car dealership, I done probably hit that fourth number.
The crazy part is
for the most part, I'm in the hundreds. Yeah. I don't have the time.
I don't. It's not again. It's not that I don't have the money to do certain things. I just don't feel. Let me back up. This is what I have. You can see individuals out at a social spot and they throwing up money. They buying this. They buying drinks. They buying shots at the table. You know, you trying to flex in front of people or whatever. God forbid something happened to you, and then y'all got to GoFundMe.
A GoFundMe account
to put somebody in the grave. But we won't set that. We won't take that same money and invest in insurance. In our children's future. Those things are important to have in order that we're able to take care of our family, even if we're not here. I have an issue with that. Now y'all can be mad at me. That's fine.
Because you don't hit somebody.
Yeah, you can be mad at me. I don't care, but I think it's a conversation that we need to have, especially as a people. We as black people, a lot of times we feel like somebody down, we automatically feel like they got insurance, they got some money, or we trying to get a little piece of change.
And 9 out of 10 they don't.
Don't.
9 out of 10 they don't.
But they got every pair of Jordan.
Every pair.
Every new Louis Vuitton, everything. They got all that Christian, all of that.
Not to mention they pay $200 on the phone bill, about $150 on the cable bill, and that's if you ain't got the extra stuff like the premium channels. But you got stuff like this. You in the chair at the salon every week.
That part.
So my thoughts is that 9 times out of 10, your insurance, after you get your discounts and your coverage, your government system, all that good stuff, insurance usually ain't nothing but about $20-$30 a month.
You don't have any insurance, you don't have no dental, you don't have no health care, you don't have no life insurance. Some people don't even have insurance on their cars. That's the crazy part.
I almost fell out my damn chair.
Don't have insurance on the car.
Some people still sitting on liability.
Yeah, but my whole thing is, again, finances are so important. If we all working, we all trying to make a dollar.
Correct.
Because that's just the way the rat race is set up. We all have to work to provide some type of financial stability. We all have financial responsibility. I don't care how much money you got. Everybody got to pay lights.
Absolutely.
Everybody got to pay a mortgage. You got to pay rent. You got to pay car note. You got to pay insurance. I don't care who you are, how much money you got. But we a lot of times get so caught up in what we see on TV, on social media, and we're trying to keep up, as you said earlier, with the Joneses, till we fail the necessities that we need in this life.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to back into relationships, I think if you decide to live with someone and you're trying to take that next step, whether you be going to marriage or whatever, I think, because in some states, if you reside together, whether you stand before justice of the peace or whomever, you're considered common law married.
Yes.
So there's an investment. There are things with that, and that some of those things are legally binding in certain states. I don't know every state law or whatever, but I do know that lived in South Carolina, I do know that if you reside, even if you share an account, that is considered married. If you share residence over an extended period of time, that is considered like a marriage. So those things, like, you really have to set yourself up as an individual and as a family, but you really have to set yourself up. And I'm going to challenge somebody that's like a financial wizard, somebody that's really good with budgeting, a financial advisor, to really like reach out and set some classes up for some people. I think a lot of times we focus on credit. Oh, my credit score needs to be this. And we want our credit score to be at a certain level because we're looking to obtain, once again, something physical, because we're trying to impress somebody. Not even so much what we can afford, but because there's a difference of being able to pay for something and being able to afford it.
That's a big difference.
It's a great difference. You can pay for whatever you want.
That's a big
You
difference.
can pay for whatever you want. If you got to do something strange for a piece of change, you can pay for whatever you want.
This is true.
But my whole thing, I think good living is being able to afford certain things.
Yes.
When you're able to afford it, you ain't got to rob Peter to pay Paul.
Mm-hmm.
When you get out of that, that's good living.
And when we say afford, we mean be able to afford without having to borrow it, without having to put something on a credit card. And when you got loans, because when you can really afford something, that means you can go in there, swipe that off your debit card and keep it pushing.
And keep it pushing. Don't look for it back. You ain't looking to make it back.
You ain't looking to make it back into that nature. But when you got to take a loan, and a credit card is still a loan, baby, you still got to pay that back. So my thoughts is that you can't necessarily pay for that, which means you are not absolutely afforded, unless it's something that you're doing just to get some credit back on.
I have a question, Khiry. Why do you think people when you go into relationships, that people won't be totally honest about their debt?
You know, I think that most people won't be totally honest about their debt because I think that's also a part of a fear of rejection. I think that you can absolutely be rejected based off of your debt alone. I think that's the same reason why a lot of people don't go into relationships and say that they got kids. Because everybody knows that that's also a dependent. A child, regardless of how you look at it, that's a debt.
Mm-hmm. That's a responsibility.
That's a debt. That's an 18-year debt, depending on how old your child is. But a child is a debt. Mm-hmm. Because one thing you're going to have to do is support that child, feed that child, make sure they got, make sure they got clothes and things on their back. I mean, even the schools now is highway robbery. They want something from me every week. Every time I turn around, can you send somebody for this sale they got going on, or they got some type of damn field day, a fair. They're trying to raise up stuff. I'm at this point. You ain't getting no more fundraisers. You ain't getting no more damn help the class by they had the nerve to put my child in TAG, right? For those of y'all who don't know what TAG is, that's the Talented and Gifted program. Mm-hmm. Now, because they talented and gifted, they supposed to have 1 day off, 1 day extra. So they pretty much get a day to pretty much kind of, play and do whatever they want to do as far as the activities go, because they apparently above the other kids as far as their grade level goes, right?
So they get a middle day.
They get one of those. So they go ahead and have their little activities, things of that nature and stuff like that. They just do they tag classes. And after that, they pretty much have activity the rest of the day. Here's the kicker. The activities that they do,
you fund it.
They want the parents to pay for it. Now, I'm just trying to figure out exactly why you're going to tell these kids they could do activities, and if they get good grades or they do really, really well, they go ahead, they get to sit in the big chair. So they got this special chairs, pretty much like the teacher's chair, things of that nature. They get to sit on the little, the gaming chairs and the soft, things of that nature, the spinning chair, all that good stuff. But they send home a pamphlet, and I ain't talking about the watchtower. They send home a pamphlet, and they got a list of stuff, and on that list, it's like, oh, can you send in, chairs, because they want to have the students be able to do the chairs. They want you to be able to send in items for the chest that they can pick out of when they actually doing something good. So they want you to send all this stuff that they are actually rewarding your kid with when they do good in school. Now, my thoughts is that if I'm funding everything and I'm sending in some stuff for these kids for the rewards, and it's not just my kids, obviously everybody. So my thoughts is that, is my money rewarding my kid for stuff that she's doing in your class? Because I could do that here.
Well, I was wondering. I'm thinking, my mind.
I'm trying to, because,
it's churning.
I can't able.
Because if it's just a day of just activities and I got to be able to, basically what I'm doing is giving my child what she already has at home, at the school.
And your kids too, depending on who is in the
But
class.
if it's just a mental day and they just get a free day, then they can stay at the house.
They can stay at home, which I don't want that either. Don't get me wrong, I want her to go to school because my nerves be enough on Saturday and Sunday. So I want her to go to school. You better not dare come home and be like, on Wednesdays, your child don't go to school. Who? Well, then where she going on Wednesdays? Because ain't no way she's there. Then you want me to pay some more money because I got to go ahead and put her in karate or dance class or something that's going to take her out of here for a little while. But it kills me off the fact that they want you to go ahead. And then they go ahead and send on their list too. they sent home the teachers'
Oh yeah, they had
so you can go ahead and send in some stuff for the teachers as well. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what my wish list says. Yeah. You ready for this? Mm-hmm. My wish list says, I wish that y'all provide another program, government assisted or whatever it is, so that these kids and these teachers actually have what they need to get these kids. Because I don't feel like I should have to send Clorox wipes and crayons and markers and pencils and everything for everybody's kids because they ain't got it. Some of us ain't got it. And
well, that ties into keeping kids on. But Khiry, wait. That ties into putting the kids on trying to keep them on the same social.
That's what they say. That's what they say. That's what they say.
You're supposed to help. You're supposed to help. That's helping and building in the community.
I think that is. I think
you feel some type of way about that, Fred.
I also feel like taxes help for that. So while y'all out here taking taxes for the library,
I want y'all to pray for Khiry.
And y'all out here taking taxes for fixing the potholes in the ground and don't never feel like they get fixed. I want y'all to take another tax or take a part of that tax and put it into the school system so that we had this stuff. Because don't call me no more. Because I'm poor and I don't have it for y'all. No, I'm kidding. You know,
you see here lie. You see here lie.
And the crazy part about it is, as much stuff as I talk about these people, I still send it every time they send one of them things over. And I be cussing the whole time. I be in the store like, why they need 15 of these? There's only one of you. And still be packing it up and sending it on down to the schoolhouse.
I see you felt some type of way about that, friend. That was a whole conviction.
I did. Yeah. I feel like
sometimes you just gotta talk about it.
Sometimes you gotta vent it out.
I feel better. You feel better. I see that. I see that.
They want them.
You had to get some clarity.
You know, that ties in. The bottom line is that kids is like that. It is an expense. And I think that with that, I absolutely, positively understand why folks might have to sit back a little bit and reap a little bit of it before they go ahead and say, oh, by the way, I got 3 kids. It's one thing to say you got 1 kid. 2 might be a little bit of excuse. But once you go to 3, it's a no for me. I ain't gonna be able to do it no more.
That's gonna be a topic. We'll talk about that one day too. Blended families. That'd be a good topic. But going back to these finances though, I think when it comes to the kid is an expense, which is like you should mention and talk about whether you have student loans, you have medical debt, you got credit card debt, how long you gonna be paying on this car. Do you have life insurance? Do you have 401k? I think these are conversations that really need to happen.
I think absolutely they are. Because all of these things, a lot of them have stamps on them. You know? Like what you just now said as far as your car. Most people know that your car, you buy a brand new or you get the longest length that you can get. You're looking at about 5-6 years on a car payment. And that's going to sit like that. When you're looking at your kids, like I said, that's an 18-year investment. And I mean, that don't necessarily mean it's going to stop right there. You may not have to support your kids after they turn 18, but they still going to need stuff too. And they still going to ask for things. They still going to pretty much expect it. And you as a parent, you're going to try to do as best as you can for your kids. With that being said,
but you got to start early though. We don't, I'm not going to say everybody, but a good majority of people don't really teach finances.
I know where you're going. Because you got to teach that
with kids, especially today. Like in our household, okay, there's a chore chart. And that chore chart, there's a dollar amount. So at the end of the week, hey, I want to go with my friends, or I want to do this.
Tally up
how much money you actually.
What did you make?
Well, can I?
I'm gonna tell y'all why this is funny. She sounds just like that for real.
You gonna pick my baby?
Well,
I just thought maybe I'm gonna call Nana. That's usually how it goes.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. I'm gonna call Nana. I'm gonna call somebody else. And I'm like, right, but this like no Nana not because me and Nana don't have a conversation.
We have a conversation.
Yeah, we don't have a conversation. You gonna stop doing it.
Yeah.
But her mind, it's okay to send the grandkids, money, whatever. But why don't you have the money?
Because technically you would. Yeah,
you would have the money if you had done what you need to do. Because, see, I want you to understand, when I get up to go to work every day, and I'm out here doing things to be able to, for you to be able to do some things and to provide that, see how it works. So if I don't go to work, some people, I'm blessed not to be docked for it, but some people, if they don't make they work, get paid by the hour, you don't get them hours, you don't get no money.
This is true.
So that's how that works. So you didn't do this chore, then you don't get that money.
You ain't salaried.
No, she ain't salaried at all.
You got to work for these items.
You got to work for it. So that's the whole point of teaching you. If there are certain rewards for certain things, but you don't learn how this works. So then you got to figure out how you gonna fit in what you want to do and what you want to buy based on what you have at the end.
And see what mine.
So if you don't come up short, then I guess you're not going to be able to go this weekend.
What mine, I started making her buy back activities too, luxuries. So my thoughts is that if you automatically had your phone, and you had your TV, you had your toys, your karaoke machine, and all the other stuff that you want to do, all this freedom. My thoughts on that situation is that if I had to take them away from you, typically when I lose stuff. If I'm out here and I get a ticket for speeding, or something happens with my tire, whatever the situation is, my thoughts is that I have to pay to get that back. What makes you have a difference of you being able to lose your stuff and just getting it back scot-free just because you feel like, well, I need a little bit. No, you have to earn that back. Yeah. So what item do you want back? Do you want the TV back first? Do you want the phone back first? Because all of them going to be different as far as your price point. But, she done started acting. She got good because we got a Troy list as well. However, she done started her a nice little piggy bank. She put her stuff in there, and I took the tape she tried to do the other day. She got to be real slick. So she done had her a nice little $10 over there in her little bank. She walk around with this bag, and she got a pocketbook as well. But she got everything in her pocket.
Except them $10.
But her money. But then she turned around and she said, I want to Khiry, can we go to McDonald's? I said, well, I actually am going to McDonald's. I'm quite hungry. Every now and then you get an inkling for a fry. It's just something about a McDonald's fry. It's like the way they salted. I had an inkling for a fry. I wanted the honey mustard and the ranch dressing and all that stuff, right? I wanted the works. You hear me? Got up there, found out they had an actual new meal because now they're making the McChickens with like bacon and all kinds of stuff on it. You can have it's crispy, it's good. Go ahead and get you one, friend. But anyway, so I go and I'm sitting in this line and I know that she has not only her $10, but she also has a McDonald's gift card that she got as a reward. Your gift card also got $10. So you technically have $20 to your name right now.
She won't spend that on this.
It ain't even that she. I'm telling you how slick she is. She had everything in the pocketbook but her money.
Because she knew you were going to pay for it.
Well, I didn't really think that you had to have the money in the pocketbook if I wasn't going to the store. But you asked to go to the store when you knew you didn't have the money. Y'all want to know what I did?
You pulled out the line.
I ordered my food.
Khiry. I get your point, friend.
I had my money.
I get your point. But you had to make the child suffer like that.
I had my money. And my thoughts was that I wanted my food. And I had already said I wanted my food. Why you ain't bring your money? I kept my food.
So lesson learned, though.
Nah, don't get me wrong. I wasn't being... So I didn't tell you what I did. I did get the meal that had like the nuggets and the burger together. So I'm like... I had the nuggets and the sandwich. and a drink. And I did make sure I ate mine first so she can go ahead and look at it. She was just sad the back of that day. And I was like, I got a large and everything. I knew I wasn't going to eat that shit. So what I did was I just poured, I gave her the 10-piece nugget that came with it and poured half of my large fry, and then I gave it to her. But I did it after I ate. Because I wanted her to understand that she be hanging money next time. You ain't getting it.
Don't call the people on them, y'all.
Oh, she was still gonna eat that. She's gonna get that McDonald's. She didn't want to come here and make no sales like she usually do.
But you know what though? Did you have the conversation though about why you didn't bring your money? So if you don't bring your money, you don't get
I already see. The funny thing about it is, other people look at your kids sometimes. They be like, "Oh, they so sweet, they so innocent, they this, they that," and they be eating that up. Let me explain something to y'all. Y'all just stop doing that because we know our kids. I know mine beyond a shadow of a doubt. And this one right here, I promise you, she took that out of her bag because she did not want to spend her money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what I do admire about her is that she will pinch $1.
Oh, yeah.
She got her little piggy bank back there, and she will pinch $1. She going to put it in there. She is going to be here for somebody, I'm telling you, because she will have her money. And she would put it in a wallet or fold it up somewhere, and the change, she just fills it up in this little piggy bank area. And she got all her stuff sitting over there. I don't know what she's saving for, but she told me specifically that there was a doll that I was just not going to buy for her. And the only reason why I stopped buying her dolls, I don't know if I told you this, but I stopped buying her dolls because every time I see the doll will start off with this hair that's just beautiful and flowing, and the dresses and the shoes and everything else. And the next time you see the doll, it's as naked as when you came into the world. I'll never understand where the clothes go to. She don't know where it's at. And now she actually making clothes. So she takes stuff from me. She take old clothes that she can't wear no more. She cut it on up and she make the outfits for the dolls. But the outfits they came with, they're non-existent. They are not here no more. I don't know where they at. So I told her I'm not buying another doll because I was actually, this is another topic we'll talk about later on, but I stopped buying the Caucasian dolls. And I started buying all of African-American pretty dolls because now they got them and they have a whole lot of history and stuff behind them as far as like what they do, what their occupation is, and of that nature. We'll talk about that another time too because it's important to teach your kids. Obviously, you want to make sure that your kids are well-rounded. Make sure that they know who they are, but also you want to make sure that they know that they can accomplish the same things as their counterparts. And I like to make sure that I look at that because, when you advertise, and they advertise a lot of things that are done, and they separate the things that you can do based off of your ethnicity. And I feel like that is something that, we can brainwash ourselves, which we have been brainwashed for a long time, and it brainwashes our kids too. So you got to break those cycles the same way we got to break those financial cycles. So we'll talk about breaking the cycles and anything like that on another one. But I think this is absolutely an important topic. Absolutely. You got to discuss finances, and you got to start that off with your kids, and you got to make sure that you are pushing this out like we are trying to do, advertise it to your people as well, because this is something that we do as a people.
During COVID time, I decided to have a family Zoom with my siblings, my mom, cousins, all of us. We would have like a family Zoom. Once, it was like twice a month, like every 2 weeks. We set a date and a time, and we're having a Zoom and start having these conversations. And I kicked off the conversation because, like I said, it was just, when COVID was happening, a lot of people didn't make it. And I got on your timelines and different things, I kept seeing all these GoFundMes for these services and things like that. And I was like, you gotta just invest a few dollars in getting some insurance. You have to. Even if you have a pre-existing health condition or whatever, there are insurances out there. You could still get insurance. So I just encourage people to search those, any type of resources and financial advice to be able to set yourself up and to be able to take care of your family, because it's important. That it puts a burden on your family. Absolutely. It puts a burden there, and it doesn't matter how much money somebody has, and then if it seems to be a family relative that, that may make a lot of money or whatever, then it could be the third cousin removed, but it rolls over to their lap. Like, you should help out. You should help. Well, that was your second cousin on your auntie side somewhere, help them out. And then that's an unspoken obligation you're putting on someone, and financially, and even to the point you don't know what they have going on in their household.
You do not.
You don't know what they have going on in their household.
You do not. And God forbid, things happen back to back.
Absolutely.
It happens. You know
it does. It does.
So the last thing you need to, because you'll be able to go ahead and swing one. Let's just say I was just looking at a video the other day where all of this lady's kids were actually in one car. And they were driving, and a 16-year-old driver who did not have a license or anything of that nature actually was driving, and he ran into the woman and her 5 kids. All 5 kids passed away. So there's a GoFundMe with that as well. Now you can understand it, but you also got to think this kind of stuff can happen. You know what I mean? And imagine having to try to bury. It's already hard enough to have to bury your loved ones, your child like that. But imagine having to have that burden of emotions of going through everything. Your mental's already all over the place. And then also a burden of trying to figure out how you're going to do this financially. Yeah.
And I know that sometimes even having those things, it may not be enough, and you do have to seek other, assistance or whatever. But at least do the basics. Get a firm foundation financially to be able to go on, and then to be able to, take the information. And again, I don't know why we don't like to talk about finances, and that's an argument in a relationship. Finances is an argument. Just like I mentioned earlier, I'm like, hey, what'd you get from New York company? And they whole world shook. Just like what? Fork dropped on the plate and everything.
Just thing.
Shut down.
I think a lot of times finance is a big thing because it's that inequality thing. People have a problem with feeling like, so are you better than me?
It's like walking on a landmine.
Baby, because something gonna blow.
Yeah. It's like walking on a landmine. And then you have people, again, that don't want to, disclose. And you have some, as you mentioned earlier, some people out there look for somebody to take care of them.
Yes.
And they don't want to be financially responsible for anything other than what they want to do.
And there's some people out here that don't mind being the the financial person for the family.
No.
There's some people who don't mind. They literally, that's their love language. They just want to be able to take care of you. They don't want you to work or anything of that nature. Yeah. And I mean, that's what
my dad was like that. My dad did not want my mom to work. My mom didn't actually start working until my brother was like 7 years old.
See.
And she went back, start working and whatnot. I get that. I get it a little bit. Just a little bit.
And some people, like I said, are just like that.
Right.
But you also got to know who you are marrying or who you are going to be with in that nature, because some people are just not built for that. They have to be able to have their own money and do something. And there's other people, like who we talk about, they don't want nothing but for somebody to take care of them. So I think when you pair with the right person, it's that communication thing. If that is what y'all communication is and y'all love language and it works for y'all, what works for you works for you.
Right.
But you got to know who you are, who you're investing in. And my thing is that that's something that you will only know when you
even in doing that though, if you may not work, you still got to be. You may not go to someone's job to clock in, but you still are active in that relationship and have responsibilities and things like that, to where if that breadwinner was to go down and not be able to work,
because that's everybody.
Exactly. Can you pick up the slack, or can you jump in and keep moving? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing, versus just wanting someone to take care of you and you just there.
And also,
and then if that
person,
and then if that person who is the breadwinner, God forbid something happens and they're not able to do that, and then you're like, well, on to the next, whatnot. That's the sad part.
Yeah.
That's not a true partnership. Yeah. That's the sad part.
And you gotta be reasonable with the situation too. I mean, even if you do find a person that's just like, I don't want you to work, I want you to focus on this, things of that nature, blah blah blah, whatever. You still don't want to go and try to, raise up every piece of debt you can do, because there's some people who literally are just like, I'm gonna take advantage of this, so I'm gonna go ahead.
Absolutely.
You're gonna buy whatever you can buy up and things of that nature. And I mean, my thoughts is that you still have to, very much so, you still have to be considerate of that situation. A person that's not working is not gonna take their behind the Tiffany's every day and try to buy them a damn a VVS Stone. Why are you doing this? ain't making no sense. But like I said, you gotta know your people.
Absolutely.
I think that's a very, very important conversation to have. Absolutely. You know how we are. We can run and run when it comes down to a topic and then run on over.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. It's Rainbow Tea with AK and Khiry. Tune in every week with us. And we'll be talking about some stuff on next week. We'll talk about something little, might ruffle a little feathers, but stay tuned.
We usually do that.
Make
sure y'all also go ahead and follow our tags on Instagram. We got Facebook, YouTube, and what am I missing?
TikTok.
Make sure you go through and follow all of those. They're all going to be Rainbow Tea,
AK and Khiry.
Until next time, we want y'all to be safe. Make sure y'all tune in. And also, send us in any type of comments, concerns, any type of topics y'all would like to talk about. Because one thing we're going to do is...
We're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it. Catch y'all next time.
Y'all be easy, be safe.
I decided today that I'm not gonna be stressed. So if you wanna leave, then I think